All right, we're at the home of the Warrens. Just visited with them about some siding. They have masonite on here now. I have some critter issues, which is what's prompting this whole endeavor. I got critters crawling in through a couple places on the soffit that will be addressed. And, in the meantime, getting this masonite stuff kind of proactively taken care of while they still can before it's kind of too far gone here. But it would be a very conservative tear off. Most of the siding is in great shape for that, scope of work. Trim is in pretty rough shape. Fascia, there's about four or five spots that need to be repaired before a fascia overlay would be done. And we'll kind of look at those. Just starting out, first of all, here again, this would be a very conservative tear off. This is the main problem right here. This soffit piece, there's a pretty big gap where probably a raccoon could get in right here, and I think that's where they're getting into the attic space of the home. So that we would need to tack that soffit back up, and then also our fascia overlay would help kind of cover that probably 4-inch gaping hole there between the fascia and the siding, or excuse me, the roofing. Of course, all windows, all corner, all doors, all that trim would be Hardie 1x4, so the existing trim would be removed, even though we are doing a conservative tear off, and would be installed new with Hardie plank 1x4. Fascia overlay, there is a drip edge. The roof is fairly new. There is a drip edge and a drip cap. So both of those things would stay, and we'd butt our fascia overlay right up to the bottom of the drip edge. We have a big old gable vent here that's just going to be painted. Again, this area here of soffit repair, that would need to be tacked back up. Those two windows up there, clear story windows, that would all, the trim around there would all be replaced, as would this corner trim right here. These little outriggers on front here would stay. They're just going to be painted. Probably can remove those to do the siding, so we got a nice flush wall behind, and then just re-tack those out onto the siding after we're done. All of them would be painted. It probably wouldn't be a bad idea to flash the tops of them so they don't rot. So that would be done there. This box would all be Hardie plank, including the window trim and all corner trim down below. We have columns on the front porch that would just be painted, so we're not doing anything with those. We talked about wrapping them, but made the decision to just basically wrap those. We have a front porch ceiling and a rear porch ceiling that would be painted as part of the project, just like the soffit. So all the soffit's going to be caulked and sealed and repainted. There's definitely some animal droppings right there, so I don't know if they're getting in somewhere right there, but that looks, awfully weird, like they're just camping out there. So I'm not too sure about that, but I noticed that right now. So anyways, this would all be Hardie plank, the siding that we see, and all a good candidate for the overlay, as would the front porch. And again, door trim, window trim would all be Hardie plank 1x4. Columns would all be painted, as would the soffit and porch ceiling. Here, the trim all the way up and down would be Hardie plank. On this side, all these sides were good with the siding being overlaid. This top, the very top outer banding with the board, that's going to have to probably be rebuilt entirely with 2x6. And then faced, we'll basically just be doing like a double fascia overlay on that to protect that. But the corner trim would all go and would be Hardie plank. It's really in bad shape, as is the back side of the chimney here. Obviously there's a kick-out flash, a diverter flashing up there, but it's not doing the trick. It's probably, looks to me like it's getting behind that diverter and popping right down here along the chimney, which is why this stuff is just annihilated, but you can see it is masonite clearly. So this whole wall here would be a full tear off. So going all the way from the bottom to about the roof line, we want to tear that off just to inspect it. There's felt paper back there, which is a great thing. It's a great sign that we see that. Probably indicates that there's not that bad of a rot situation behind that siding, so that's probably a saving grace there. But regardless, we want to tear that off just to make sure. Everywhere else will be overlaid. We got a chimney. We got a back porch ceiling, so that would all be painted. And then, of course, it looks like this door was replaced or the trim was replaced. So we'll take that cedar trim off there and put on a Hardie 1x4 so it matches all the windows. We got 2 columns here. Those would just be painted. And then we have some siding up here. Same scope of work, fascia overlay. And then paint the soffit. We have another area of extended soffit down here, so that would all have to be painted as well. And again, a good candidate up there for overlay. This is one area of rot right here, so that needs to be fixed before we overlay. And as we come around here, a lot of stone. Let's see where, oh yeah, it's over on this side. We have one garage entry door right here that would be painted. There's trim failing around that, but it's really the jamb. So unless you replace that door, there's really not much that we can do that wouldn't just be a Band-Aid. See that? It's already been scabbed in. You can see where it's kind of finger jointed back in there. But the brick mold's not rotted, but that jamb is rotted. And the only way to fix that is actually to replace the door. So we would not fix that. We would paint the door, however. Up there is a little sliver of siding. So we have that. We have this corner that probably needs to be repaired here. But all this siding, again, is a good candidate for overlay. The trim's shot up there, so definitely getting that trim off. And getting some Hardie plank up there is going to be a great thing, just to prevent any kind of water infiltration. Garage door frame will be wrapped in Hardie, and then we got a little piece above the garage door that would become Hardie plank. And there is some rot down there you see on the bottom of the garage door frame, so that would all be solved with the Hardie plank. So that's really what we're looking at here as far as the scope of work. Pretty straightforward. We were looking at a smaller reveal, and I told him about our discussion with Hardie this morning, where that's pretty much not going to be possible for potentially the balance of the year. So he's going to do some looking at pictures and deciding if they might be okay with a 7-inch reveal. As it is on the house right now, it's about a 4-inch. So I think they kind of wanted to stick with that look, but based on availability and all the craziness right now, it may just not be possible. So we're going to look at that, and they were going to decide that that was in fact okay to go with the 8 1/4 board. That's what we got. Pretty straightforward. Appreciate y'all's time today and sticking out here in the heat with me, and we look forward to the opportunity to work for you guys. Thank you so much.